Preventing diabetes is just steps away, and it's easier than you think. Lifescript's Dr. Ed Geehr is here today with some advice. I'm Ron Caporelli, and this is House Calls. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, diabetes is one of the greatest health threats facing this country today. But type 2 diabetes, the most common form of the disease, can often be prevented with simple lifestyle changes. Not knowing the warning signs could harm your health for life. Lifescript.com's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ed Geehr, is here in our Los Angeles studios to help explain how to keep yourself diabetes-free. Ed, good to see you as always.
Ron.
So let's start with the basics, the differences between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. What are they?
Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease. That means the pancreas that makes the insulin is attacked by your immune system and renders it unable to make more insulin. Type 2 diabetes is typically a response to obesity, where you're still making some insulin, but the insulin is not working effectively at the cell level.
Now, why is type 2 more common?
Type 2 is way more common because of the obesity epidemic in the country. So a combination of obesity and inactivity sets you up for type 2 diabetes.
Now, what are the symptoms of each?
Well, the symptoms of diabetes in general are thirst, excess urination, fatigue, maybe some blurry vision, and that's common for both types of diabetes.
Can type 2 diabetes be cured?
Type 2 diabetes can be cured. Some people can be cured by simple losing of weight, getting on a regular diet, and an exercise routine. They can completely eliminate their diabetes. Not all diabetics, type 2 diabetics, however, respond as well to weight loss.
And type 1 cannot be cured, though. It's more of a chronic thing that has to be managed with insulin and so forth.
That's right. Once the pancreas loses its ability to make insulin, it can't be restored.
Okay, now who is most at risk for developing each? Start with type 1. Who's more at risk for that?
Well, type 1 diabetes seems to be a universal problem. So it affects all races, all genders, and it typically hits early in life. So in youths as early as 5 or 6 years old, and typically, though, in the teenage years.
And what about type 2?
There are certain ethnic groups that are predisposed. For example, African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanics, and Pacific Islanders are all at higher risk. I mentioned the fact that people who are obese or inactive or increase their likelihood of getting type 2 diabetes as well.
Now, children can get type 2 as well, correct?
Unfortunately, it's become a disease of younger years. It didn't used to be, but now because we have so much obesity among our youths, they are also experiencing type 2 diabetes.
Now, should you get tested on a regular basis for diabetes? How is it usually first detected? Take me through somebody who first gets diagnosed. How do they find out?
Well, generally, it's picked up either because you've had some symptoms, as I mentioned, thirst and frequency of urination are the classic symptoms, but it also may be picked up on just a routine blood test. So when you get your annual physical examination, if you get one, they typically will measure blood sugar levels, and if it's elevated, they may want to do some additional testing.
Okay. Any other tips on prevention that we should all focus on?
Well, for type 1, again, there's not much you can do about that. But for type 2, keep a normal weight, regular exercise routine, and a healthy diet, and you're very unlikely to get type 2 diabetes.
Of course, be sure to get that annual checkup, get the blood work done, and so forth. And before you make any changes to your health regimen based on this or anything else, make sure to check in with your doctor.
Check in with your doctor. That's right.
All right, Ed Geehr, thanks again as always.
Welcome.
For more information on diabetes, visit our Diabetes Health Center at www.lifescript.com. On the next installment of Living with Diabetes, we learned how to know when you're pre-diabetic. From Los Angeles, I'm Ron Caporelli.